Please be seated. Hello, Spartans, and welcome to our first assembly of the year, the Fall Athletic Assembly. Tonight is about all of you and the memories you created this fall with your teammates and coaches. You will hear short season recaps, and some players will receive individual awards. Just before your coaches come up and say some nice things about your team and your season, on behalf of all of us in this room, I would like to give a big thank you to several people. This group of individuals work daily to make sure you have the best possible experience with athletics. But before I get to the thank yous, I will ask you to be on your best behavior as we all enjoy hearing from the fall coaches. Finally, I will ask you to do what you don't like to do, and that is turn off your phones. Go ahead. I would ask that you hold your applause until the end of the thank yous. Thank you to Mr. Boulet, Mrs. Moore, and Ms. Perron in the Health Center, and to our physiotherapist, Frédéric, for being the dedicated medical professionals that they are. Thank you to Ms. Marcon and Mr. Wolf for organizing fall badminton. Thank you to Ms. Robitaille for supervising fall volleyball. Thank you to Mrs. Wilkinson and Ms. Nikki Campbell for running outdoor pursuits. Thank you to the maintenance department, the ladies in laundry, Josh, Mario, and Mark at the arena, our drivers, Mr. Dozwa and the kitchen staff who work with us, not for us, to make sure that all of our program needs are provided for. Thank you to Mrs. Wolf for her help with RSEQ and athletics. And thank you to Mr. Faiz Akbar for all his help making sure that we have what we need after school and for games. Thank you as well for always greeting everyone with a smile and music. Finally, a thank you to your coaches. They go above and beyond every day to make sure you have fond memories. They will take time tonight to thank you, but I truly hope you take time to let them know how memorable your season was with them. A huge round of applause for all those people who truly make the sports season special here at Stanstead College. Thank you. So without further ado, let's kick things off with the Bantam boys soccer team and Miss Borsoi.
First, I would like to thank Mr. Spirk and Mr. Faiz for a wonderful season, as well as the Health Center. Big thank you to Mr. Liverpool for co-coaching with me and helping when I needed advice. Thank you to Mr. Simard and Dr. Standage for keeping my boys in line during our away trips. This year, we started with just enough players to field the team. Although we won our first 2 games, there was much to learn. The boys quickly realized in our game against Sadizien that being ball hogs wouldn't work out, and actually passing to your teammates was a much better game plan. Our last game might have been a loss, but it was some of the best soccer I had seen them play all year. We went into the game playing a formation they had never played before or even learned before. Yet they all knew exactly what they needed to do. They played a patient and disciplined defense and waited for the opponent to make a mistake. They truly looked like a veteran soccer team. We held Sadizien 0-0 in the first half. Coming off the field, I could see it in their faces, how excited and how proud they were. In those moments, they all believed in each other and in the team. It definitely will be a moment I will remember. Each of you should be proud of the season we had. Now for the awards. I will start with the Bantam S Awards, followed by the Sportsmanship Award. Please wait for all the award winners to be announced, and then come up together to receive your award. The first award goes out to a player that may have not been the most vocal on the team, but when he was, the others would listen. Being one of the oldest in the group, he brought maturity to the team, which was much needed on a Bantam boys soccer team. For most of the season, he was playing midfield, but once we got a chance to play center back, you could tell he was a natural. It was a happy surprise, as not many kids love playing defense, but he found his passion. He played a key part in the quarterfinals and the semifinals. This Bantam S Award is awarded to Santiago Bahalil. This next one is for a player that gave it his all every game and worked hard in every practice. He never gave up. He had a positive attitude and was able to guide the others and their positions. This was the second year I had the pleasure of coaching him, and I can say with confidence that he truly improved this year. He made smarter decisions on the field and was able to see the play in front of him before it was formed. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here tonight, but I can't wait to officially congratulate him in person. This Bantam S Award is awarded to Saif Alexander Pardon. This player stood out from the beginning because he was a natural leader and a great skilled player. In the first game, he impressed me with his incredible speed and ability to score. His favorite position is definitely striker, but when we needed him to play out in midfield or even at defense, he never even complained. A true definition of a team player. Throughout the season, he was our leading scorer and someone we could count on to make an offensive play. Although we did not have an official captain, I think the boys and I knew who it was. This Bantam S is awarded to Liam Huckins. The Sportsmanship Award goes to the player who, in my opinion, played the hardest position on the field. Every time we hit the pitch, I could always count on him to bring a smile. In fact, if you head to Vitagami, there's a picture of him playing, and he has a huge smile on his face, like cheek to cheek. He always had a great attitude and always offered to carry equipment. During the season, he continued to grow and improve as a goalie. I would even say he became an expert at stopping penalty kicks. I am proud to give the Sportsmanship Award to Joseph Ruff. You guys can come up and get your awards.
Thank you, Ms. Borsoi. The next program up for junior boys soccer, Mr. Liverpool.
Good evening, everyone. For the longest time, I believed that winning was important. It took the words of a wise friend and a few years of maturing to realize that that's not necessarily always the case. I now believe firmly in the notion of fun. And while that may seem somewhat childish or childlike, Shouldn't that be the goal? Wouldn't it be fun if we all took advantage of our opportunities, regardless of when they arise, to just play? If COVID-19 pandemic has taught us anything, I think it would be that we need physical activity and contact. We need relationships and friendships, and we need gatherings and togetherness. All of these things can be achieved through the sports we play and the activities in which we engage. On numerous occasions, I've heard it said that it's so nice to see the kids back out on the field, or on the court, or on the ice. It's so nice to see them in meaningful competition against teams in a different colored jersey. And while I couldn't agree more, I'm still mindful of not losing sight of what I now truly believe is most important: fun. In fact, if you wanted to, you could say that fun was the theme for our season, which breaks down kind of like this. We had fun while earning our first ever victory over perennial powerhouse Seminaire Salesian, their only loss of the season. We had fun speaking English, and maybe a little less fun running when we did not. We had fun watching Luis kick field goals about 20 feet above the bar on a consistent basis. Wrong sport, but it was still fun to watch. We had fun singing Katy Perry, Shawn Mendes, and even a little JT, my personal favorite, on bus rides home with our ever-growing bellies full of Mickey D's. We had fun learning, growing, and improving. We had fun breaking it down. Right, Mom? Lastly, and I truly believe, we had fun just being together and playing. To bring this full circle, in the end, we had fun and everything else took care of itself. In the grand scheme of things, I can assure all of you that those games that you won or lost or tied or played poorly or played well, they will not be the things you remember about your high school athletic career. The things you will remember, and rightfully so, are the moments, the fun times, the relationships and long life bonds that you are right now, at this very moment in your lives, creating with your peers. So in closing, I would encourage all of you in this room, players and coaches alike, to worry less about the outcome or results and focus more on belting out Katy Perry on the bus ride home. Cheers and congratulations to everyone in this room for your efforts during this fall sports term. Thank you. Next up, I have 3 Junior S Award winners, and followed by a Sportsmanship Award. The first award, new to Stanstead College, this young man made quite an impact on the field in his first season with the team. Riley consistently displayed a high level of skill and understanding. More often than not, he knew the correct play to make and possessed the skill to make the play come to fruition. A silent leader, Riley used his soccer abilities on the field and encouraged others to follow his lead. A wonderfully polite and agreeable young man, Riley was a pleasure to coach, and I look forward to watching his athletic career blossom. Congratulations, Riley. Also new to the college and program, Ian was a wonderful surprise. Athletic as they come, Ian used this ability to dominate lesser players and put the natural fear of God into flat-footed defenders. Easily the fastest player on the team, he took advantage of his speed to place himself in positions where he could be successful. Sadly, he had some issues with being on target from time to time, but as our team's leading scorer, I guess I can't be too hard on him. Much like Riley, Ian also led with his performance on the field, the true definition of leading by example. Congratulations, Ian. Maurizio was the rock that every team needs. Not only was he a dependable stopper in net, he was a leader off the field, constantly making sure that things and people were where they were supposed to be. Maurizio took it upon himself to stay in communication with me and often acted as a conduit between coach and players, especially our Spanish-speaking players. This was greatly appreciated, especially considering that besides fun, our major goal this season was to communicate with each other. Being the young man that stands in the middle of that great big net and is responsible for stopping a tiny little ball from entering is no small task. And I am pleased and proud to say that Maurizio never once backed down from the challenge or folded under the pressure. I guess that's what rocks do. Congratulations, Maurizio. And the final award of the night is the Sportsmanship Award. Surely it will sound like conjecture when I say that, to a man, this award could have gone to any member of this team. And in the end, I guess that's what made this season so special and so enjoyable. I really have to admit my appreciation for this team and one particular player who stood out slightly from the rest. Justin made it a point from day one to ask questions, to seek out advice, and improve and help the team in any way that he possibly could, including playing all three major positions on the field, both forward, midfielder, and defender throughout the course of the season. He played fast and hard and often knocked down opposing players, yet he always offered a hand to help his opposition to their feet. Justin performed numerous other acts of kindness and always carried himself in a manner that is deserving of this award. He carried himself with pride and respect and displayed these very same attributes toward his teammates and opponents. A valued and respected member of this team, it was an absolute joy to work with Justin this season. Congratulations, Justin. You guys can come on up. Thank you. That's my house, yeah. Thank you. That is Justin's.
Our next program to be recognized, junior girls soccer team, Mr. Peasley.
Thank you, Mr. Spirk. So, good evening. This is my first year coaching junior girls soccer team, and I really did not know what to expect after last year's soccer team, where I had the senior girls team, hardly enough players to play in a game, and one game in the whole year. So I was quite pleased to see when we did tryouts on the first day, we had over 20 girls show up. I also heard that we'd be having a season, and I figured, you know what, it's going to be a pretty good year. I really had no idea just how good that was actually going to be. Though unfortunately this year Stanstead couldn't put together a Bantam girls team, we kind of benefited from that as well because we took on several Bantam players, and also I was lucky enough to have Mrs. Smith join me as our assistant coach, and I just want to thank her for her help with basically everything. So thank you, Mrs. Smith. So on the first day, we had a small core of returning players who showed up, an influx of girls from the prep girls hockey team, I'm sure as most of you know, and then a few new players that were joining the team for their first year. And the question for me at that point was, how am I going to make this mix work? Especially with seeing how with our first games of the year, we're going to be in a senior girls tournament. I saw that we were a fast team, a hard-working team, so we decided to run 4 forwards, 3 midfielders, and 3 defense, a very aggressive and kind of dangerous approach. If it goes wrong, it goes really wrong. That said, we believed it could work, and we never changed the formation for the rest of the year. So, basically, I saw that the way I look at it is I like results, I like numbers. So how did it go with this formation? At the senior girls tournament, a 9-team home tournament, we had 7 goals for, 4 goals against, a 3-1 record, and we came second overall. Go to regular season and playoffs in the ETIAC, 26 goals for, 6 against, a 6-0 record, undefeated, ETIAC regular season and playoff champs. So it went pretty good. How did we do this though? We had a team that worked together, they worked hard, and they supported each other. And what I really liked about this team, regardless of their skill level, their age, their social circles off the field, when they were on the field together, they were truly a team. And that's something that really gave them some success, and success that they really deserved. So, a little bit about our players. Darlene, our goalie, she stood on her head all year, starting with our opening senior tournament, where she just carried us through to the final. Ava, dependable, solid presence on defense, and definitely a chatty presence in practice. Annabelle, she controlled the center of the backfield, did it calmly, and cleared the ball with her booming kicks. Alexa, famous for shouting, "Spartans, what is your profession?" How could we have done it without her? She's an intimidating presence to the opponent's forwards, and trust me that Alexa gives ground to no one. Marlene, quiet member of the defense team, whose positioning and play improved greatly throughout the season. Noemi, a consistent defender who just grew better each and every game. Katie, she plays at full speed, and I think everyone remembers that she is number 9. Beatrice got one of the first yellow cards of the season and had no idea what a yellow card was. That said, she works hard and gave a full effort, and now she knows what a yellow card is. Maya Lee, one of the most powerful shots on the team, also one of the highest shots, and a threat to any goalie from long range. Alexandra, a strong presence in midfield, a fierce competitor with a full effort every minute she's on the field. Zoe, it was really fun to see her compete level, her speed of attack improving all throughout the season. Paula, playing a position she really had to learn, but once she did, she played it very well. Amelia, one of our quietest members, but you could see a strong compete level, especially in the latter part of the season. Quinn, loosely put, a very physical player, always willing to battle for the ball. Ellie, hard running forward, and just a natural leader on and off the field. Naya, strong competitor whose positional play just continued to improve from day to day. Lana, she took some hard hits this year and always jumped back up. And she got oh so close to an insurance goal in the final. Ariel, always a good runner. It was really nice to see her showing some great bursts of speed by the end of the season. Great improvement there. Penelope, an incredibly hard-working player, full of energy and team spirit, and even when injured, she was always there cheering on the team and making soccer ball pyramids. Rosalie Tremblay, always a smile, always hardworking, and with seemingly endless stores of energy. Rosalie Bouchard, strong, powerful striker, a fierce competitor who can truly blast the ball. Kira always comes to the field with a smile and a strong work ethic, and it was great to see how much she improved. And basically, to all of you girls, it was a truly enjoyable season for both myself and Mrs. Smith. You were a very coachable, a very hard-working team, and deserve every bit of your success. We hope to see many of you back next fall. And now for the awards. We had a very big team, 22 players, so we do have 5 junior S's coming and a sportsmanship award. So I will announce everyone's name, and then you can all come up together at the end to get your award. Our first junior S for one of our Bantam-aged players. She was dominant in the junior league, winning the league scoring title even though she sat out one game. The best way I can describe her play is that she's simply relentless. Congratulations to Rosalie Tremblay for her junior effort. Another of our dominant scorers who plays a strong, aggressive game and was often one we could count on to get a goal when we really needed it. Congratulations to Rosalie Bouchard for her junior effort. For anyone who watched any of our games, there's no surprise when it comes to this award. She kept us in the senior girls tournament with a dominant goaltending display, and her goals against average for the season, remember I do like numbers, including the senior tournament, 0.56 goals per game. That's pretty impressive, so congratulations to Darlene Ouimet for her junior effort. This defender always appears calm and collected, even when she is in a full run challenging an opposing striker for the ball. Her control of the center of the backfield allowed us to play only 3 defenders for the whole season and really let us stick to our offensive formation. So congratulations to Annabelle Cormier for her junior effort. This girl is the type of midfield player that you hate to have to play against, but you love to have on your team. She plays tough, with skill, and with a shot that can score from just about anywhere. Congratulations to Maëlée Pillon for her junior effort. And finally, the Sportsmanship Award. This award really could have gone to many of the girls on this team, but we talked about it, and we decided on the girl who we felt was always taking on a leadership role, whether she was in practice during a game or whether she was taking a game off and sitting on the bench. Her work ethic set the example, as did her team spirit. She was also the only self-appointed assistant to the assistant coach. Congratulations to Ellie French. Could you all please come up and get your awards?
Our next program to be recognized is this first program of the night that can give out Major S awards. And for those new to the school this year, here at Stanstead College, we recognize Major S awards with a standing ovation. Speaking for the Ultimate Frisbee team, Mr. Coughlin.
Hi everyone, good evening. First of all, on behalf of myself and the rest of the team, I'd like to thank Ms. LaRoche for all of the support that she gave to the team over the course of the season. There was a lot of excellent baking involved weekend after weekend. I would also like to thank Mr. Spirk, Mrs. Wolf, and Mr. Fies for all the work that they did to help us get through the season, and also to Ms. Carruthers and Mr. Simard for coming to watch us play in Sherbrooke during some very ugly weather. Throughout my first few days at Stanstead, one of the questions that I was asked most frequently was, what sport are you coaching? When I responded that I was coaching Ultimate, one question that always followed was, have you seen how those 2 German girls throw the Frisbee? This was usually accompanied by a facial expression that signaled disbelief or shock. The most memorable instance of this question came from Mr. Wolf shortly after he had thrown the Frisbee with Gerda and Dora during the first weekend of school. And as he asked me the question, he was looking at his hand as though it was paining him greatly and as though he might never be the same again. At the time, I didn't know that in addition to their powerful throws, the mutual resemblance of these two sisters would endlessly confuse and frustrate our opponents. Hearing members of other teams, while scrambling onto defense, panicking about which of the girls it was their responsibility to guard was a routine part of most of our games. When you join a competitive sports team, you typically find yourself among people who are the same age as you or people who are the same gender as you. If they're not the same age or gender, then what brings you together is typically shared experience in or passion for the sport that you are playing. Our team was made up of boys and girls from every year group at the school, grades 7 through 12. This means that the age difference between people who practice and play together was not the usual 1 or 2 years, but sometimes 5 years. When the season started, meanwhile, this mix of boys and girls drawn from across the school had previously played a grand total of 0 games of Ultimate in their lives. Huge diversity in age, limited experience in the sport. When we began, the Frisbees did not always fly straight, and some of them did not really fly at all, to be honest. Passes thrown gently to the chest for easy catches seemed to melt out of our hands. The standard offensive formation in Ultimate is called a stack. It basically involves 4 people standing in a straight line. For some reason, we just couldn't do it. We played our first games, and for 2 out of the 3 hours of play, we watched in awe as the more experienced teams from Bantam ran elegant and graceful patterns around us, with the Frisbee seemingly drawn into our end zone by an invisible force. It was beautiful, but it was painful. Interestingly, our difficulty with the stack led some of the other teams to compliment us on our complicated offensive strategy. No matter how much they tried, they simply couldn't figure it out. 1 month later, we had made the playoffs. At the half of a semifinal game against the first-seeded team in the league, the same team that had crushed us 1 month before, we were ahead by 4 points. Somehow, we were using the stack to move the Frisbee down the field and into their end zone. We were doing the straight line thing. I felt the need to keep looking over my shoulder to confirm that someone else was seeing what I was seeing. Very rarely in my life have I witnessed so clearly the capacity to learn and to improve, or the amount of individual and team development that can come from hard work and from a positive attitude. We ended up losing 12-10, but then, as on many other occasions throughout the season, Ms. LaRoche and I were incredibly proud of our players and the team that they had become. Along the way, there were a few highlights. Emma McIntyre in grade 9, learning how to beat players much bigger than her into the backfield for an endless stream of points. Jane Rohde in grade 7, who had possibly never handled a Frisbee before, scoring a point against Montcalm 3 in early October. Augustine Rohi playing in the semifinal game with absolutely every inch of his body covered to protect him from the cold, his eyes alone visible. Ian Nicholson returning from illness midway through the season to tower over defenders in the end zone. Dora throwing a hammer for the score, Gerda throwing the Hail Mary for the score, Felix and Zev cutting at unbelievable speed. Learning to congratulate the other team when they scored, one of the biggest challenges that Ultimate Frisbee requires, and 5 separate trips to the food court of what I assume to be Sherbrooke's largest shopping center. More than anything, though, this Ultimate season is for me best captured in our long pass drill, when I would huck a deep throw into some open space, and one by one, every member of this eclectic mix of people from the college would run down the field like mad to track it down. This is such a basic activity, but I think we were all able to discover the joy that comes from watching a Frisbee float through the sky and watching a 7th grader or 12th grader pull it down out of the air when only a moment earlier it seemed way out of their reach. We also discovered the joy of seeing them simply miss the Frisbee altogether and fall flat on their face. Either way, it was absolutely awesome. The first athlete that I would like to recognize this evening is a grade 9 student who I have already mentioned, though I think that at every moment throughout the season she would have preferred to be playing ice hockey. She brought an incredible sense of humor, an incredible sense of irony, and an incredible level of competitiveness both to our practices and to our games. As I said before, she was often matched up against players much bigger than her and much older than her, but she managed to get away from them, and along the way, she also managed to develop a very good throw. She must have been our top scorer over the season. The first S that we would like to give is to Emma McIntyre. This next student was the rock, to use Mr. Liverpool's phrase, upon which our team was built. She was focused, determined, and very excited about the game, and eager always to learn more and to learn how to play better. She was always trying to get better and to get the best out of the team, and she brought an incredible level of discipline to the game and an incredible passion for victory, even when she was frustrated by injury or by disappointment. She was an absolute hero throughout the season. The second S that I would like to award is to Dora Kleinekampen. The next S that I would like to award is to an individual who brought an equal level of focus and determination to our entire season and combined it with an absolutely unshakable desire to win. This person came to practice every day and sometimes stayed for hours on the field afterward, throwing the frisbee, trying to hone her craft. The third S that I would like to award is to Gerda Kleinekampen. The last S that we will award is to a person who was really a leader by example throughout the entire season. He demonstrated an unbelievable level of effort in practice, even on drills that may have been boring. He gave 100%, 120%, always getting free and really serving as the foundation of our offense in the second half of the year. This, again, is a tremendous leader by example. Even when you are already a good player, it is worth working as hard as you possibly can. This is something that Felix Fortier showed to our team for the entire season. I would also like to award a sportsmanship award to a person who, for me, in his general attitude, really encapsulates the spirit of the game. Though he may not have been particularly concerned whether we won or lost, or the margin by which we won or lost, this was a person who was happy to be present at our games and who was eager to treat the other team and his own teammates also with huge amounts of respect. He also has a tremendous sense of humor and a great baritone voice when he is counting stalls on the opposing team. I would like to give the Sportsmanship Award to Kieran Templeman. You can all come up, please.
Our next three programs can give out major S's, but also can give out MVP trophies. Next to speak from the cross-country team, Miss Reynolds.
That was my coach's gift. So I said I'd wear them up to the podium. Okay, so normally in cross-country running, you have to quickly adapt to running certain distances. And doing this after the summer when you've been doing absolutely nothing, in particular, not much running, can lead to injury. So every year before the Terry Fox run, I plead with the team, don't overdo it. Listen to your bodies, stop when your body tells you to. Do they listen? No. So, like every year, we had some runners that ended up with strains, shin splints, sore muscles, you name it. Some were out for a few days and some were out for a few weeks. So, going with the injuries, before I get into the season, I just want to quickly explain how the scoring in cross country works, okay? So, the top 7 people in each category, so Bantam girls, Bantam boys, et cetera, the top 7 get points for the team. So the first person that coming across the line gets 7 points. The second person gets 6 points, et cetera, et cetera. So it's an advantage if you have a huge team, like Galt. So yes, every year, Galt wins, unfortunately. So anyway, moving on from the Terry Fox run, we go to our first race at Massey-Vanier. Many haven't raced before, so they have no idea what to expect, and they're nervous. Others do. So, as we're going in, people are raring to go, the adrenaline is pumping, and we actually come out 3rd overall with some medals in our pockets. Our second race was our home meet. Home field advantage, you might say, but our trail is a little bit longer than the one at Massey-Vanier. Even though the trails and the distances are supposed to be the same, they really aren't, and ours actually have a few hills on it. So despite the fact that the distances were a little tougher, we did come out a little bit ahead. Even though we edged out BCS this time, we still came in 3rd. So the 3rd race, we went to Galt. It was our worst race, and some might say the toughest trail. So we'll just skip right over that one. We won't get it. We won't talk about that at all. And then our last race was the final at BCS, was actually our best race, where a lot of people came across the finish lines with their best performances, and we actually ended up 2nd overall. So a little bit about the team. They were a great group to work with overall, a ragtag group. We had quite the mixture, an interesting dynamic for sure. We had the natural athletes, we had beginners, and then we had the few that, had to go somewhere, so they came to cross-country running. So we began the season with 12 runners, so figured it was going to be a manageable season. Good, hard-working group. We had Antoine, Jerome, Marcus, Amelia, Cindy, and Lucy that were on the team previous years, so they knew what to expect. We also had Reagan, Liam, Cedric, and Zach, who were natural athletes and are already in great shape. We had Go and Rachel. They needed to work at it a little bit, but they were actually willing to put in the effort, so it was awesome. So it was a good start. And then the rest of the team started cutting. So then we had Victoria and Sam come, with their smiles on their face, and every once in a while we need to, give them a little bit of encouragement and get them going. After that, we adopted Boris. Boris transferred from outdoor pursuits because his coaches at outdoor pursuits just said he won't stop running. So he needs to do cross country. So he came to cross country. He didn't run. Yeah, that was Boris. Then we gained the 2 Martinez girls as they came to campus because they were late arriving and because they didn't get their study permits, but they've been doing some running, so they had a little bit under their belt. And then in the last 2 weeks of the season, we gained Mia, Tony, and Joe after they were fully vaccinated and could join a team. So it made for a lot of adapting throughout the season, and a lot of working with beginning runners. But you know what? I think we had a great season overall. We had a lot of fun. We muddled through. We worked the best that we could, and everybody ended up improving throughout the season. So next year, when we go, we're going to work over the summer. We're going to have a little bit of a training program over the summer. And when it comes to Terry Fox, we're going to listen to our bodies. Right? So anyway, congratulations to the team for an overall positive season, and I look forward to next year. So All of the following award winners, I want you to come up together. So the first runner I'd like to recognize is a quiet but determined force. He placed first in all of his races at the Bantam level. Some days in practice, he was actually the first runner to come across the line, beating all the seniors. So being that he is a Bantam, there's a lot of growth to be done. So I look forward to working with Liam in the future years. So congratulations, Liam Summon, for a Bantam S. This junior runner placed first in her division at all of her races. Reagan is definitely a force to be reckoned with. Her confidence is something else. She challenged herself to go sub-8 in her first race. She did. There was only one close race, but she said it was because somebody was trying to check her as she was going down the hill. She edged her out in the end, so congratulations to Reagan Lynch for earning a Junior S. Senior S is going to Cedric, as he placed second in the 3 races that he attended. However, he actually missed a race due to injury, you know, that Terry Fox at the beginning of the year. Very aggressive and super coachable, a complete natural runner. Congratulations to Cedric Beauregard. Another senior S, I don't know if Zach is here, if he made it here or not, but he's a natural, hard-working athlete, medaled in 2 of our races, always worked hard in practice, generally a few paces behind Cedric. Actually junior age, but he stepped up to run the senior level, so that was a jump from a 3K to a 6K run. So congratulations to Zach Mayer. And the sportsmanship, I'm actually co-awarding it this year. This is based purely on effort throughout the season. Sophie came to us late in the season, as I already mentioned, but was determined to get better. She even got up early in the morning and did a lot of running. Not the fastest, but with continued work, she will get there. And also Cindy just never gives up. She also is not the fastest runner in the book, but always gives it her all. For this, I'm awarding them both the Sportsmanship Award. So please come up, all of you. Okay. Come on. One last runner to recognize. This last senior runner placed second in every race as well. She worked hard all the time, did extra laps, also led our stretching sessions, a pleasure to coach, and always running with a smile upon her face. Please stand as we recognize Lucy Wong as she is awarded with the Senior S and the William Greenshields Memorial Trophy for Excellence and Leadership in Cross-Country Running.
Our next program to speak Senior boys soccer, Mr. Simard.
Grade 8 history. Please don't forget the vaults and the pointed arches and the, oh, it's not turned on. The stained glass, please. Senior boys soccer. Compared it to last year, I don't know if you know, but we played a grand total of 2 games. A lot of hard work went into last year. We were hoping for something better, and we definitely have something better. We played 6 real games against solid competition, 8 when you include a couple of jamborees, and it could have been 10 in our season had things gone a little better for us. We had a league to play in, which is nice. We had playoffs to look forward to, although, as I said. Here are some numbers for those who are into the mathematics. I'll give you a bunch of numbers. You may have to take off one shoe. Here are our results. 1-1 tie. 0-2 loss, 0-2 loss, 2-1 win, 2-2 tie, and a 1-1 tie. So those were the big numbers for every game that we played across those 6 games. If you do your math, our goals against average is 1.5. The problem is our goals for is 1.0. So our results were 1 win, 2 losses, and the big problem here are the 3 ties. The 2 that we lost were to Galt and Salesian, and Galt and Salesian were the ones that went forward to first and second. They beat us, both teams beat us 2-0. And yeah, Salesian, by the way, I checked their scores against everybody except us. It was 2-0 to us. Their scores for Salesian, 4, 7, 6, 9, 3, and 3. So were we, you say sometimes, how was your team? Were they bad? Definitely not. Definitely out of that category. Were we good? I would say yes. We were on that side. Were we great? No, but we were a good team. We were a competitive team, and anybody who plays sports wants to have a competitive team. And that's definitely what we were. But what we really was, better than this good or bad, very easy, is unlucky. Unlucky would be our word of the year. If we could have scored just a few more goals along the way, our life would have been a little different. Let me talk about the 2 ties very quickly. Our last of the season, regular season, was a 2-2 tie at Massivani. We were leading 2-0 at the half, and the wheels fell off a little bit. We had a red card, unfortunate. A red card, if you don't know, means that you are out of the game, and there's a penalty kick coming up. And ironically, the penalty kick was stopped by our keeper, but the rebound went in and also injured our keeper. So he had to come out, new person goes in, a defender has to go out, and now we're playing with 10 men, and we almost did it, but it ended up a 2-2 tie. The other 1-1 tie I believe many of you saw at home. That was 2 days later against the same team. It was 1-0, and with about 12 seconds left in the game, Trofim knifed one in to make it a 1-1 game, and then it went overtime, no change, and then penalty kicks were the worst I've ever seen. Not the worst, the best I've ever seen, but worse for us. And the reason is I've never seen in all my time where 5 from this team and 5 from that team, not one was saved and not one was missed. They all went in. So then we go to the next round. They hit theirs. We had a good attempt at it and it didn't go, and that's why I say the word unlucky in both of those games, in both of those cases. The positives, we played very well at times. As I said, a few balls here would have changed our success. A good bunch of guys, and you should know with 25 on the list, that's almost 10% of the school on our team, all senior boys, and I have to say generally a good bunch with not many issues at all. And shout out to the grade 10s. for solid effort for us. That's Chaz, Towner, Trofim, Adam, Ryan, Tom, and Yuho. I have two kind of odds. I wouldn't call it positives and negatives, kind of odds. One is about Dyke. He used to do stats for us on a regular basis so we could look at halftime and after the game and say, how did we do and where did the goals come from and so on. And so he made a plan in the second game. He said, I'm not going to do statistics on paper anymore. I'm going to videotape it. And I said, do you know how long it takes to cut video into something that you can show to the players? He said, yeah, no problem. I can handle that. I don't remember seeing any film ever from that season. And the other one will only be, this will only go for a few people. I know Mr. Van Dyke will get this, a few others. And it's called double secret probation. Double secret probation. That's kind of what we got when we went to Massivanier. We had an over-officious referee. I've never seen this happen before. I'm doing the score sheet. He comes over and he's very agitated and he says, are you finished? And I said, well, he sees me writing. No, I'm getting there. And he says, we have a problem, sir. I went, uh-oh. One of your players, sir. Uh-oh again, who is it? Start looking over. What happened? He said to me, it's that number 3. Our number 3 is Jack Littman. I said, huh? Right uniform? Jack Littman. I said, sir, he's one of our captains. He's a prefect. He's grade 12. Are you sure? He said, yes, sir. He was taunting another player. Again, I said, Jack Littman? He said, sir, he said to the player, the red-headed guy played there last year. And I said, and? That's taunting, sir. And I said, okay, I'll have a word with him. I said, I didn't know that, saying that that's a blue blob is somehow offensive to that piece of work over there. But apparently, that's what it was. So we were on secret. Oh, he said, that player has a pre-yellow card before the game starts. A pre-yellow card. Okay. At this time of the evening, we usually wake up Dyke and we start to show the awards. Good? 4 of these, they'll come together. These are sportsmanship and senior S's. The sportsmanship goes to our second keeper. He did not play in any of the games, but he was definitely a part of our team in everything we did all of the time. Very positive at all times, except for bad weather. He used to tell me about that quite a bit. And that is Hector. And there are three gentlemen receiving seniors tonight. The first is one of our top forwards who gave fits to the other team, but would be the first to admit that he would have loved to have had a few more goals this season. And that's Elliot Deshotel. The second is a midfielder forward. The words I put down for him are steady, solid, effort, physical, and steady again. That's Adam Larson. And the third is a defender, also the same steady, solid, effort, and physical, but a little bit more genteel in his approach. One of the gentlemen he was playing across got mad at him, maybe a little bit of a foul that wasn't called. And you can get up with your angry fist, you can get up with your bad mouth. But Joseph Riddle said to the guy, I didn't hear a whistle. Crafty. So could those 4 please come up and get their sportsmanship and seniors? Okay, majors, alphabetically done. The first for 3 years has been the best soccer player in the school and among the best in the league. But for COVID last year, he would be wearing a white sweater right now. And it makes me very happy for Mr. Wolf to give the first Major S of this year to George Correa. No, the photos are after. Yeah. The next goes to a true soccer man. His passion for this game is palpable. He had a nice start last year and consistent contributor to the team. That's Tristan Grandsire. The next one would be no surprise to anyone on our team. I'm not sure his vocal taunts are quite as cerebral as Joseph's are, but it happens 60 yards away from me, so I don't really hear what he says, but I can only imagine. A talented goalkeeper. No surprise to anyone. Unbelievable skills. And I should mention to you that when we went into PKs, he was injured, and that's part of sort of our event of that day, and that is our keeper, Ryan Johnson. Okay, bud, come in a minute. We're taking photos here. That's this Ryan Johnson, not the one from 2 years ago, because then Jack Lipman might have a problem with his hair color or something. So, the last of the majors for tonight, one of the heart and soul type people of our sport. I call him like the Bruce Springsteen, Bruce Springsteen, most of you won't know him, of soccer. Hardest working man, work, a leader, loves the sport, Jack Lipman. Yeah, I'll go out since the last week. But he's there too, And the final award for our team is the Bobby Moore MVP Trophy. And it goes to, well, I should say, it's again no surprise if you saw us play or if you're a part of our team of who was our most successful person in terms of keeping us going, and that is Ryan Johnson.
Our final program of the night for senior girls soccer, Mr. Van Dyke.
right, a couple thank yous to start. Thanks to all the people Mr. Spirk mentioned at the beginning to make athletics work. Thank you to Mr. Spirk, whose #1 driving motivation is to make your Stanstead College athletic experience memorable as possible for you. Thank you to Tere Calva for volunteering to be the manager for this team and lending her wisdom to the position. And also thank you, of course, to Coach Kirby for coaching with me this season. Look in the dictionary under enthusiastic, caring commitment, and you will see her smiling face. I like to save the best for last, so I will give the awards first, and then I'll finish with what I consider the most important part, talking about the team. First, there will be 2 Senior S awards and the Sportsmanship Award. All 3, please come up together. The first Senior S goes to a player with an Energizer Bunny work rate. She is incapable of playing at less than 100%. She's a constant terrorizing threat out on the wing. She has a cannon for a shot. I've never had a player score 4 goals in one season from more than 25 yards out until now. Hopefully she's here because she's usually late. Senior S to Lisa Patnaud. Come up together. The second Senior S goes to a player who, she started the season playing tentatively. She's quiet, often out of position. She held on to the ball too long at the wrong times, but she's smart. She's a problem solver. She's always watching and paying attention. Like not in a stalker way, but in a good way. And once she figured things out, once she stopped hesitating, she became a force. Dependable, aggressive, tough as nails, a natural leader, and not as quiet as I once thought. Senior S to Maya LaRue. And the Sportsmanship Award goes to a grade 12 veteran who selflessly, with a smile, did everything she was asked to do, which was a lot. Her teammates asked her to be their captain. She said yes. We asked her to play defensive midfield. She said yes, coach. We asked her to play offensive midfield. Of course, coach. Then we changed our mind, asked her to play wing. Then 2 days later, asked her to play striker. Right away, coach, whatever the team needs. A talented player with an impressive skill set, a great leader, and an even better person. Sportsmanship Award to team captain, Sophia Paradis. Okay, all 3, come on up. All 3 of you guys. Oh, sorry. Come on up, all 3. 1 second. The first major S goes to the heart of our defense. She is lightning fast and super smart. She was a quarterback back there, or maybe a better analogy, she was a conductor. Like those people that do this thing, like she's communicating, she's orchestrating her teammates, covering up mistakes, and protecting her goalkeeper at all costs. A great player, a force for positivity, and the perfect teammate. Major S to team captain, Laura Bellini. If Laura is the heart of the defense, this player is the fist. A fist that's ready to punch you in the stomach and knock the wind out of you. Nobody wanted to go one-on-one against this incredibly talented left back because she's fast, she's strong, her balance is incredible, she loves a challenge, and she's just the right amount of mean. Not only can you not beat her, she wants you to go to sleep that night knowing that you cannot beat her, like ever. Major S, Cameron Moore. The third and final major S, as well as the Merle Griffin MVP Trophy for Excellence and Sportsmanship in girls soccer, goes to the most skilled offensive player I've coached in 23 years of coaching soccer. I've been here a long time, never seen anyone like her. I've seen players with 6 feet and speed, but her 6 feet and speed always have one clear purpose, that's to beat you one-on-one. Scoring in soccer is supposed to be tough. It's supposed to be hard at all levels, but not for her. She just dribbles through the heart of the opposing team, right up to the goalie, and just tuck the ball home. Once or twice or 3 times per game, it was ridiculous. If there was a cheat code for scoring goals, she would be that cheat code. Major S and MVP trophy to a player who smiles and loves life as much as she loves soccer, Jolianne Tremblay. So I just got off from a 5-year layoff from coaching soccer. Before that, I coached for 23 years. There is one undeniable truth about this group of girls sitting right there. I've never had a team that improved more than you guys, and in several different ways. So skill-wise, you know, players are supposed to improve. Like over a 7-week season, players should improve it. But players on this team, some really went above and beyond normal improvement. Amelia, Sienna, and Valentina all became more confident and better on the ball at striker. Neva and Maya developed into bruising midfielders who played with zero hesitation. Ariella started the year randomly running at 100%. She does everything 100%, but just kicking whatever way her body happened to be pointing. That's what she does, it's how she does, but by the end of the year, she was, well, she's still doing that, but she was positionally perfect. I'd never seen someone pick up the game like that. And then there are the 2 most improved players I've maybe ever seen. Erica Roy and Victoria Garcia. Erica came late to the team and had very little soccer experience, great person, great smile, a little bit clueless about the game. But by season's end, she was winning balls, making proper soccer decisions, and had earned a legitimate job on the wing. And then there's Victoria. I can't even describe how much she improved. I'll just say she started the season as someone playing soccer and ended it as a soccer player. So that's some of the individual improvement. Soccer-wise, as a group, our positioning, our lack of hesitation, understanding the system got so much better that we tied Galt 2-2 to start the year and beat them handily in the ETIC finals 5-2. After those finals, I had multiple teachers who were in this room find me and make a point of telling me, I saw your team in September. It's amazing how much better they are. So girls, there is no better compliment than that. There's nothing more important. You can't control winning, but you can control how much you improve. But most importantly to me and to Coach Kirby is we improved as a team. By that I mean as teammates, bonded towards a common goal. As young women getting to know each other through sport. We started the year as random little groups of 1 or 2 people on our own little islands, not even knowing seriously how to celebrate goals together. And we finished the year playing indoor soccer, dancing on the sidelines, chowing down on ice cream and ETIAC championship cake. We went from strangers in the halls to sitting together at supper. We spent most of the season with the worst, least intense game warm-ups I've seen in my career, but for the last game of the year, you were all arms on shoulders, swaying in a huddle with tears in your eyes. And finally, we started the year not really knowing who Maddie Littman was, but by the end of the year, every single one of us knew that our goaltender for the upcoming game would be Maddie Littman. And that was my favorite part of every pregame ritual. So thank you to every single player for what you gave this year, and cherish the memories you made. And if your memory ever starts getting hazy, just come back to campus and visit the gym. That signed banniere will still be on the wall. Whose house? Yeah, it's our house. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Van Dyke. That concludes our Fall Athletic Assembly. Thank you all very much for your attention and engagement. I'd like to leave you with a final quote that I received from my father-in-law, high school lacrosse legend Randy Garrett. It reads, "It's not about the scoreboard, it's about the spirit. It's not about the results, it's about the relationships. It's not about your ego. It's about your effort. MVP trophy winners, Majoress winners, Sportsmanship Award winners, and Senior, Junior, and Bantam S winners, please stay behind for a yearbook photo. Now, once you're dismissed, you'll head back to your residence for the second half of study. Badminton team, you're just going to have to stay behind over here to meet Mr. Wolf. Please stand to let your coaches and teachers leave the church first. Have a wonderful break.